Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new show on the Fat and Spicy Network called Behind the Pint. I'm Spicy, your host, and I'm going to be interviewing just regular people and finding out the bad parts of life, the good parts of life, the silly parts of life, but life in general. And we're going to sit behind the bar with our good friends that we're going to talk to. I'm going to have a beer, they're going to have a drink or two, and we're going to get to know each other. So that's all there is to it. Welcome to the show. I'm Spicy, and with me today, we have the one and only Mr. Jacob Rubio. Jacob, welcome to the show, bro. Chacho, how are you, man?
He's gonna say my whole government name out there.
Who cares, man? We can always edit that out if you don't want it out there, bro.
Nah, you good. You good. I'm pretty sure people would find that out. I mean, I used to post in AEC all the time. My name would pop up there all the time.
So
I used to
everybody
do my
knows you, man.
announcements.
Like the whole world of 5M knows you as like probably one of the best role players out there, dude.
I don't know
Introduce
about the best,
yourself
but
and tell us a little bit about who you are. Like say your name and all of that good stuff, man. Give us a rundown.
uh, yeah, man, yeah. For those of you who don't know, I am RS Fat or RSP Hat, the right way to say it. Everybody just sticks with Fat though, so that's cool. Um, RSP Hat comes from RuneScape Party Hat. For anybody that doesn't know, now you know. Uh, I used to play RuneScape a lot, so that's kind of like me paying homage to a game that I grinded out for like my entirety of my childhood.
How many
Um,
years did you put into it?
oh, I would probably estimate a good. Now when I say good, I mean like consecutive. I mean every day after school, like boom, 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 like clockwork. 365. As many hours as I could get in. I would say religiously. It was probably a good 6 to 7 years.
Oh, it was like that?
Yeah, just like consistent, like boom, 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 every day. After school, boom. That's what I did. That's what I did. That's what I did.
Okay,
Uh,
so you're proving to the audience that you're a good gamer, but let's take it back just a step and let's talk about Jacob the man, dude. So tell us about you. Like where did you come from? Uh what
you
state
know,
you grew up in?
me and my family, we migrated on the Mayflower. No, I'm just kidding.
Came across with the pilgrims. Nice, dude.
Yeah, dude. No, okay. So I'm 33 years old. Um, I know everybody's like, dang. I'm 33.
Damn,
Um,
child.
I know. Um, Everybody, if anybody cares, I'm August. I'm a Leo. August 22nd is my birthday. 1990, the best year there ever was.
Taking notes here. Okay.
And that social security number, bro?
Yeah, yeah. My favorite color is green. That's
Mother's maiden name. Well, actually, speaking of mother, let's talk about your folks. So what'd your parents do for a living, bro?
uh, you know, my mom and dad. First of all, they're divorced.
Were, were they born in
So
America?
well, my mom was actually born in Mexico, and my dad was born in Texas. So
Okay, so
I'm full blown Hispanic, Mexican American, if you want to call it. Um, so that's I know I don't sound that way, obviously. I do a lot of work in customer service, so I got to get the right enunciation on words and stuff. And I feel like I mean I have obviously different dialects I can speak, different what they call code switching, where you can kind of adjust the way you speak, depending on your environment to make other people feel comfortable. I think that's
we've
more or
all heard,
less.
we've all heard you switch, bro.
There's
I
actually
think
a word for that too.
it's
I
called
forgot.
code switching.
Yeah, but I think there's a more intelligent word for it.
A more intelligent word.
So
You're
son of a
spanking dumb.
I'm just teasing.
so mom came across the border. Dad was from Texas. You grew up where, bro?
I was born and raised in Georgia, so I've been here
Like
pretty
so you
much.
spent your whole life in Georgia, huh?
Yeah, I mean we've moved, like I've stayed in like other states, but I've never moved and like lived their entirety.
I
So yeah,
got you.
mostly
Okay.
Georgia.
So let's get to the question that I guess everybody wants to know about.
It's about
Talk to us
time.
about living with a handicap, dude, because we were talking before the show and we got time together, get to know each other. And of course, you and I do the Fat and Spicy show. We've got years to know each other. But one thing I was surprised to find out after all these years, and I didn't find out until this year, was that you are missing an arm. Is it your left or your right arm, bro?
Left. So
You're
yeah, there's
missing your
a
left
lot of
one. So
people
what
don't
happened
realize
there?
that. I left it at the house. I never went back to go get
Shut up.
it.
It just left it at the house.
No,
um,
no. It's better. It's better than when I tell the kids. Like I have this thing where just like you like to. It's. I think it's my duty. And I think it's every older generation's duty to just scar children. Give them a little bit of trauma in their life. So I do
why
my
not?
part. I do my part. Whenever I go like to the beach and the kids ask me, I'm like, I swam a little far out there and the sharks got me. They're like, what? And then they run and never get back in the water.
Shark. Um, so what happened? How did you lose your arm, and how old were you when it happened, bro?
Um. Okay. So I was 3 years old. My mom and dad, obviously growing up Hispanic, in that culture, we did a lot of migrant work. My worked with a lot of farm workers, um, in the fields and stuff. So when I was three, me and my older brother got around some machinery, and we were playing around. And I, what I remember was sticking like cans in this conveyor belt, this big, huge, long conveyor belt, and we were sticking it in. And obviously, one band spins one way, the other band spins the other way, and inside there's a gap, where whatever just gets crushed in there. So we were throwing cans and whatever we could find, we were sticking it in there. And we thought it was the coolest thing. You're a kid, you're a boy. Obviously, you just want to make a mess and destroy stuff. Uh, what had happened was I got too close. I went to put the can in, and when I got there, I didn't let go of the can in time, and it actually grabbed a hold of my fingers. And at that point, that's when it started to like pull me into the machine. So my brother screamed and ran to go get my dad. My dad came back and he basically kind of like was pulling me against the machine. Like this machine was pulling me in and he was pulling me out. And eventually one thing had to give and it ended up just kind of like ripping my arm off. Like from it was about a good piece from the forearm, like your forearm, like a little bit below your elbow.
So is that what you? That's what you've got left right now? Is like from just a little bit
Yeah.
below the elbow.
Yeah.
So that thing just ripped it right off, huh?
Yeah. Luckily, the from what I remember, like I remember what it looked like. I remember looking down and seeing, you know, I hate to get into all the detail.
No,
Uh,
get into the details. That's what we're here for, bro.
I remember looking down and seeing like the meat, the bone, and everything. I didn't see a lot of blood though, and I later figured out why when the doctor said they told my parents that what would happen was is they whenever the machine pulled and my dad was pulling everything just kind of pulled it pulled so tight that it actually pinched off my nerve my veins and everything from
So
that
like
it
made like
didn't
almost like a natural tourniquet.
yeah so I didn't bleed out.
And so what happened? You come to? Who found you?
Well, I remember looking down, I see my arm, and I'm just like, at that point, I think I'm just in a state of shock, like, don't really hear anything around me. I remember looking up, and there's people. I'm like laying down on my back, and I'm looking up, and there's people looking down on me. And next thing I know, I feel like the lifting of a helicopter, like being lifted off the ground, and they got like a mask on my face, and then I passed the fuck out. And I woke up days later in the hospital. I woke up in the it was the hospital in Atlanta. I think it was almost like the Ronald McDonald's house, I think, or something like that, or it was like for children. And
Do you remember how many days you were there?
I was there for a while, honestly. Honestly, I know I was there for a long time, even after I like I would consistently going back. I mean, I was constantly going back for like more skin grafts and then stuff like that throughout my whole childhood. Um,
So this just wasn't something that happened like when you were 3. Like this continued on into later childhood, like fixing the arm and getting you back, huh?
Yeah. So like even then, like even with all that, you still have to, because I guess as you grow, they have to continuously add more like skin and stuff.
I never thought about it like that. Jesus.
Yeah. But
Okay,
yeah,
so
man.
you're 3 years old. You got your arm removed in a terrible, terrible accident, and now it's time to start going to school. So tell us about that. How was your grade schooling? Did you were you quick to make friends? Was it hard for you with the arm? Like how did the other kids treat you, man?
I would say, I guess I can sum it up. Kids are assholes. They're always gonna be.
Yeah,
Uh,
dude.
but the thing that I learned now, and I didn't grasp it in the beginning. In the beginning it was definitely tough. It was definitely hard. It's kind of one of the reasons why I stayed and I stuck to like gaming and stuff, because I was inside more and I didn't have to deal with the outside world as much. Because it wasn't a very nice place from what I remember and what I knew. Um, Growing up, you're always gonna have kids that are gonna be. What I say is the lack of knowledge breeds ignorance. You know.
I agree with
Um,
that, 100%.
So looking back, I kind of don't have as much resentment, but growing up, yeah, there was a lot of definitely resentment towards people, and how they would treat me, especially kids. Uh, I don't know. I wrote a lot of a lot about it. I don't know if anybody was in AAC when I wrote the book about uh
You didn't
eternity.
kill your boss with a hammer, did you?
No, I didn't kill anybody, but there was a lot. There was a lot of me in that book. Whenever it talks about like never getting picked to be on the team, stuff like that, being
Sure.
bullied. Um, there was a lot of me in there, a lot of things that I could relate with. Um, so like I said, in growing up, I didn't really have. I don't think I actually started to get actual real friends until I was in middle school. You know, it was
Yeah.
always the same kind of the same concept. Kids would go around and they would like tuck their arm in their shirt and kind of like make fun of me, or obviously say mean things. Uh, so I just kind of stayed to myself. Didn't really like going to school.
Did you ever you came across like a couple of core friends that like were around you and like that you did get to know, or were you pretty much by yourself? Like how did
Well,
that work
see,
out for you in school?
uh, I think in middle school, like I said, in middle school, I actually started to meet my actual first friend, and it was like in my eighth, ninth grade year. I tried, I did try prosthetic. For anybody that's interested, I did try that for a while, but even with that, I mean, that was even worse. Talking about something that actually brought more attention. Like that's one of the reasons why I never wore it, and I still don't wear it now. Um, it was definitely it just drew more attention to me than what I wanted.
Sure,
Because
sure,
the
sure.
like back then prosthetics wasn't weren't aren't they weren't as advanced as they are now. Now they got the hands that move and then everything. And back then it was a hook. It was a it was a hook, and
Was it a
who the fuck?
legitimate
Yeah,
hook?
yeah. It was like a hook.
Oh
I was like, how
no.
the fuck I walk around? What I'm saying, like I'm like a pirate. I was like,
Oh
so now I
bro.
can laugh at it.
Yeah, right.
But it's like, who the heck wants to walk around like that? That's crazy.
We had one of those kids in our school, dude, that one of those kids with the hooks. And you do the best you can to like be a good dude. And it was a Christian school we went to. So of course we're always taught, be friendly and righteous and do what Jesus would do. So we did the best we could to like, keep him in the group, but it was always there. Like the hook. I mean, you couldn't ignore it. It's not like you forgot about it one day. So I get that with
Yeah.
the kids.
I mean, pirates are
Um,
hot. So,
there's a pirate thing going on.
I mean, my birthday is on the day of National Talk Like a Pirate Day. So, I kind of have a thing for pirates. I'm okay
Paco
with
the
it.
pirate, is that what that is?
No,
The
it's a
Paco the pirate,
Nash.
dude.
No, Paco the pirate.
Taco the pirate. But yeah, no, no.
So I gotta know. How you ride a bike?
Yeah. I learned how to do a lot of things on my own. Unfortunately, it had to be on my own. Again, it was one of those things that I didn't understand growing up, but as you get older, you kind of make more sense of it. Um,
Yeah, no, yeah, I get that 100%.
when you're younger, you're looking for guidance and you don't find anything, and it's kind of like really a hard pill, a sour pill to swallow. It kind of gives you a really bad outlook on life. and the people around you. So I did, like I said, my childhood, I really did harbor a lot of resentment towards a lot of people growing up, and then feeling like I was definitely by myself for the most part. And it, again, as you get older, you look back and you say, "Hey, well, how can somebody teach you something that they know nothing about?" You know?
That's true, right? Like, how's somebody going to teach you how to tie a shoe one-handed?
Yeah, exactly. So whenever I would ask, my parents and stuff,
Was there a
the
lot of
best
Velcro in your life?
no, I didn't. I was trying not to be that kind of kid, but there was Velcro. Um, um, I would usually just tuck my shoelaces in and just step on them and put my foot in there. Um,
Okay.
but there was definitely a lot of figure it out. Figure it out in my life. That was kind of like the go-to motto for my parents. Figure it out.
So growing up with the one arm, what would you say was one of the hardest things for you to master?
If this was a serious podcast.
No, I know, bro. I know it. I knew what you. No, but seriously, what was that one thing that you were like, God damn, I just can't get this. It's so hard. Stop it.
I'm
um,
sorry.
let's
Y'all
see.
nasty, man.
Uh, let's see. What was one of the hardest things that I could?
So I imagine like you could cook, you can shower, you can brush your teeth, you can do all
Mm,
that. Tying the shoe, you kind of got that down after a
I,
while,
th-
right?
I
Making your
think
bed.
I think everything was hard at one point for me. You know, uh, you know,
Uh,
um, I don't think anything that was like that required. Could imagine like going about your day and just doing one handed with everything.
well, that brings me to the question that I was really wondering is at what point in your childhood did you realize like, okay, now I'm getting by and everything is just kind of like somebody says it's kind of like at some point you almost don't realize that you're missing it because you just kind of get on with life. Like you're one of the fastest typers I know, and you type faster than I do with one hand. It's crazy.
That's more or less. People say, you can you can always do everything, and you can do anything you want to as long as you have will and drive to do it. Even me, growing up in the circumstances that I grew up in, I'm surprised when I go on and I see streamers, that are playing with their feet, or that the women that drive with their feet alone, and they manage to do all this like amazing things, and you look and you're like, there's nothing you can't do if you don't want. Like, the only person that can tell you no is you.
It's true, right? Like
Like,
the only thing
I
that
see
stops
people,
anybody is
yeah,
themselves.
I see people play the guitar with their feet. It's crazy. What we're capable of doing by just doing. So
I
I try not to sit there and think that there is, and I can't. I mean, obviously there's gonna be things that I can't do. Like, they won't let me do. Like, they won't let me drive a forklift.
right, yeah.
I could probably do it, but would the company be like, yeah, let them? No, they're not. They're never gonna let
No,
me.
no, no,
But
no. Keep that man away from any of the heavy machinery.
yeah,
You don't want him to lose another pin.
but yeah, no.
So what about gaming? Do you have like a special rig that you have for like? Did you just always set your keybinds differently, or how does that work for the gaming? Because you're surprisingly smooth. You can drive. You got the emotes. You're doing everything that we do.
Um,
Lie.
at least a lie. You would lie.
No, I said fly. You fly better than
Oh,
I do.
oh. I will say this. Luckily for me, growing up, I grew up with a lot of gaming. Like I said, it was one of the things that I was passionate about was gaming. I started off obviously, NES, Game Boys, Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64s, PlayStations, Xboxes, ones, twos, threes, and then
Those
I
aren't
graduated.
those aren't easy to master one handed.
No, but like I said, if there's something that you want to do and you're interested in doing it, you'll be able to do it. You'll find a way. And I grew up with those, and I think that kind of helped, bridge the gap for me whenever I jumped over to PC. You know, being having that hand-eye coordination. I don't use any special like keyboards. I do use a mouse. I do use a RPG mouse. like MMOs. You know, they have the multi buttons, so I do use that. So it does
Yeah.
come in handy.
Okay.
But most of the time, I set special keybinds for my muscles and stuff in city. So if you ever been driving with me and you realize I don't talk when I drive, that's one of the reasons. No, I can't get to the push to talk. If we're not, we're gonna veer off the road. We're gonna die.
That's why you took me off that cliff today on our way over here.
Yeah.
We were having a nice conversation. No, he drives me right off the fucking cliff. It was beautiful. Thanks, man. So, okay, so we're in high school now. Did you ever do any extracurricular activities like you're in the drama club? Did you play basketball? I mean, it's kind of hard, but did you do anything like that special for
According
after
to
school stuff?
my parents, you know, I was in the drama club. I was always complaining.
Can we get a rim shot, please?
Oh man.
But how was it with like extracurricular stuff?
I was in band. I did join band. I did try out for football once in a lifetime.
Okay,
But
no. Put the brakes on that one, bro. What did you play in band?
I played. Obviously, I played a mean saxophone. I'm just kidding.
No.
I played a triangle. No, I'm just kidding. I was asked trumpet.
You're a trumpet player, okay.
Yeah.
That is surprisingly one instrument that you can play with single handed.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. You
that's
know,
amazing. Did
it
you ever
was.
take to it? Were you any good at it?
Yeah. No. Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed it a lot. I did that. I did marching band. Uh. And I actually enjoyed it. You know, I ended up getting kicked out because I got in a fight with another band member. We were
Kicked
joking
out of
around.
band or
He
kicked out of school?
kicked out of band.
Okay.
Yeah, it turns out, anyway, it turns out the teacher ended up being a pedo. Anyway,
Oh no, really?
yeah, dude.
Oh, that's no good.
Got him. He tried to flee to Alaska with his wife. Sad, sick world we live in. Didn't happen to me, though. So.
Okay, so you're a band geek, like one of those guys, playing the trumpet in the marching band with the uniform and the feather in the hat. I can totally see it. So in high school, how was it for you, like girlfriends and whatnot?
Um, I did date in middle school. I got my first girlfriend in middle school. It was about ninth, and then an eighth grade year.
Okay.
And we dated for about a couple of weeks, and then ended up breaking up because she believed a lie. I guess one of her cousins told her, and then again, like I said, Georgia ended up
Oh,
turning
no.
out
You
that
got to tell us that story, bro.
well, I mean, what ended up happening was let's see, hold on.
He's got to think about it. He's got to collect his thoughts. Anyway, guys, while he's collecting his thoughts,
Sorry,
I'm gonna pour myself another beer.
but I was saying, I did date. And anyways, she ended up believing a lie that her cousin told her. And the short story about it is the cousin ended up liking her and wanted to break us up because he was hoping he could get with it. It's a weird story, man. It's a weird thing.
Her cousin?
Yeah, her cousin.
Oh, whoa, bro. That's like
Yeah.
that's some down south. No, I'm just kidding, bro.
Yeah. No. You can say it. It's that down south stuff, you know.
It's that down south stuff, bro. It happens, and I mean, it happens everywhere you go. But we make fun of the down south stuff.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely wild. Like I said, especially you grow up in a small town, you know.
Okay, so growing up, dated in high school, and got yourself a steady girl, or what? How did that work out?
Well, after that, obviously, I wasn't with her anymore. That would have been weird.
No, not her. No. Did you hook up with the cousin? I'm just
It was a guy.
So it's down south. You said it yourself, bro. Anything can happen.
Not my down south. That's not my south. Oh man.
So at what point did you find yourself like that girl in high school that you thought was going to be the one?
Probably ninth grade. I dated
Ninth grade.
ninth and 10th grade year.
What happened with that? Was that like just a school time fling, or did you guys actually take it further?
I mean, well, no, we ended up breaking up before I moved away. Uh, Obviously, you know the way I'm dressed. Obviously, I got a thing for emo chicks. So,
I can dig that. Dude, email chicks aren't bad, dude. when I was a kid, you'd look at him, you'd be like, she's gonna rip my heart out, like with her bare fangs. But as you grow older, you just realize it's a style choice and it's a little way of life. I can dig it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
nobody more
man.
talented with makeup than emo people, man. Like they surprise me every time.
There you go. Oh no, but yeah, it was good. Shout out to her wherever she's at. So, it was a
So
good time.
were you an emo guy? Did you like to put on the leather and the dark, face
Man,
paint and be like, "Hello, creatures of the light"?
is that God?
I don't know.
Is that vampire? What is that?
I guess I don't know. I'm not a goth, dude. I've
Creatures
never
of
been
the
around
night.
that
Is
lifestyle,
that
dude.
the intro to Thriller?
Maybe you're right, Vincent Price over here.
Uh, um, oh, I did dye my hair at one point. I had the red tips, and I did wear guy liner for a while. It wasn't
Wait,
that
hold on.
long.
Whoa, no, stop. Guy liner,
Yeah, since
not
eyeliner.
eyeliner. Guy liner. I
You
love
gotta
that, dude.
specify.
Wear that guy liner. I'm using that, dude. I love that.
Oh yeah, you gotta specify. I did it for a while. I wouldn't say it was a long time, but it definitely wasn't a big thing. Um, but I did it for a little bit. But most of the time, like I said, it was my parents were very religious, so anything of that nature it's the devil.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I know that. I know that lifestyle. I grew up with my grandma, dude, and it was the same thing. Even Halloween was of the devil.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah.
go out trick or treating. That's the devil's day.
Yeah, dude, I remember that growing up, man. My parents, like, I used to collect Pokemon cards, and a lot of them probably would have been worth a lot of money, nowadays. I would have had the binders that I had. I used to collect Pokemon cards and Dragon Ball Z stuff, Um, and one day they just, the church decided to just gather everybody's, all their kids' stuff and burn it outside the church. And
I
talk
remember
talk
those
about
days, dude.
the biggest show of cultism, the biggest showing of a cult in the world. That showed me more. That was more demonic than anything I had ever seen on TV.
Right? Have a bonfire and sitting around
Yeah,
it and
yeah, yeah,
chanting
yeah,
and
exactly,
praying
yeah,
and yeah.
exactly. Picture that, a big old fire, and just throwing like Pokemon cards and stuff in there, and everybody's holding hands around this thing and praying and singing, and I'm like, this is fucking crazy. This is the shit they were warning us about.
That's right. Are you old enough to remember like the PTL network, Praise the Lord, with Jim Baker and Tammy Faye and all that?
Oh man, dude, look, man, I grew up, man. We had Christian satellite TV,
Yeah, that's the
Angel
one. That's what I'm
TV is
talking about.
called.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to hear
AMTV and
something
then there was
crazy? You want to hear
It
something
was
crazy?
AMTL.
literally, yeah, it was all just Christian channels, man. It was luckily for me, my dad was a little more rebellious, so we would sneak into his room and watch wrestling with him.
Bro, I was watching that one day and the dude was like on TV, the preacher was like, the Smurfs are made by the devil and Papa Smurf is Satan and Gargamel's like the good dude. He's a priest. He's wearing the priest robes. Like he's trying to save the world from the evil Smurfs. Dude, we could never watch the Smurfs again. And this isn't no bullshit. This is a true story, dude.
Yeah, no,
You
no,
want to
I
hear
know.
something crazy real quick? I used to
Yo,
run, used to work at 911. I was a 911 dispatcher in Missouri. And one of the in the counties that I was in was we were like West Branson for a while, right? And in those counties was his church. And we used to talk to the police about it all the time, and they were like, we don't ever go in there by ourselves. They're like, if we ever get a call out there, we go in there as pairs. Like paramedics won't go in there without the cops. They won't go in there by themselves. It's crazy.
yeah,
Crazy.
that's how it is, man. It just
Mm-hmm.
people get these weird notions in their butts and then they just go with it, whether it's in the name of a deity or whatever. So
Yeah.
okay, grew up Christian, had all your Pokemon cards burned. Uh,
All my Dragon Ball Z figures and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I did.
in a
It was
bonfire.
just. Yeah, and the crazy part about it is they still want you to be excited to go to church. It's like, nah, like, no,
Right?
I
Right?
don't
Let
want to
me tell
go.
you all the bad things you've done, but then I'm not going to get all theological, but I have my own feelings about God. I'm an
Yeah.
atheist.
I mean,
So, but I
I'll
was
say,
raised in the Christian life too. I got it.
yeah, I'll say, like I said, I do believe in God, in my God, in my version. I believe everybody's version is different, according to what you go through in life, but I do believe in my form of God. And however, I don't practice. I don't really go to church. I don't do that. I don't, for the sole purpose of my belief is I just don't believe in the teachings of man. I don't believe that what you think is right for you is right for the whole you know herd.
It's the same like a TV show, right? Like I like The Sopranos. Somebody else might hate it and love Sons of Anarchy. It's not for them, but we're
Yeah,
both watching TV.
exactly.
I get that. So you've grown up now. You've made your way out of high school. How did you meet your wife?
I don't have a wife. I'm not married.
Your first wife. Your first wife.
I've never been married in my life.
Oh, I
You
thought you were
talk.
married. I'm sorry. I thought you got married. Okay, so your baby's mama.
Okay, so we're diving into the stuff. Okay, all right. So go ahead and get out there. I have $3. Okay, I
Okay,
have
$3. Okay.
$3. Yeah, all girls. Yeah, God's
Or
still
you, dude.
punishing me. Uh,
I have one daughter. That's enough. I've also got twin boys, and that's
the
plenty.
sins of my ancestors.
It's all your fault, dude. It's coming back to haunt you.
No, I'll make it. I'll make it very short. Because there's a
No,
lot.
don't, dude.
There's a lot of drama and BS in there.
That's what we want. Bring me the drama,
Um,
dude.
let's see. So my first daughter, 14 years old, will be 15 here soon, so she'll be having her quinceañera soon. Which is her 15, obviously, and then Mexican or Hispanic culture. That's obviously her coming into her womanhood, so she'll have a big old party.
Oh, the
Have,
quinceanera, right? Yeah.
yeah, I haven't seen her since she was 5, though.
Oh,
Her long story short, her mom cheated on me when we were together. Then we broke up. She didn't tell me about the pregnancy. Didn't tell me that she even had a baby. I had to learn from somebody else. Uh when I did find out and I did reach out, everything was kind of okay. They wanted to know who the father was, as much as I did. Obviously, if I have a
of
child in
course.
this world, I want to be there and take and support my child. So we ended up taking a DNA test. The other guy was there. I went to him as a man, because this is when DNA tests first came around. Like they were a thing, and they were like $500.
Whoa,
These things
500.
are.
Oh, that's not like a 23 and me $20 thing anymore, huh?
No, 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 no. This was when they first came out. Like this is when you could first order the kit. You didn't have to go to a lab, but you had to, this kit was like $400 or $500.
Was it
And
still a cheek swab, like swab the inside and
yeah,
send it
yeah,
in?
yeah, 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 yeah. Saw that.
Okay.
But like I said, not many people were doing it back then. Um, so I ended up going to the other guy that was the other, the man in question. As much as that sucks, but hey, we weren't together, so we were together when it happened, but it was already like a year apart. So, well, 9 months, I guess. Um, I asked him if he would wanted to go half with me, because it's a lot of money.
On the
And
DNA test or on the kid?
yeah, no, on the DNA test. I mean, it was going to benefit him the same way it was going to
Yeah,
benefit
no
me.
kidding. Yeah.
To me in my mind, it's logic. Everything in my mind is based off of logic. I'm one of those people. Um, I went there and I asked the dude. I was like, "Hey, and he said no." He said, "Fuck you." I was like, "Okay." He says,
He straight up turned you down.
"Yeah." He said, "I don't need your help. I got my mom." I was like, "Oh, okay. All right, I feel you." Whatever that means. Whatever that means.
Right.
I guess he was I guess his mom was gonna bail him out. I don't know. So I ended up paying up, the money. I was working anyways. Um, so I ended up paying it. Results came back 99.9%. I am the father, and
I'm sorry, you are or you aren't?
I am. I
Okay.
wouldn't be claiming my daughter.
No, I know. I just couldn't hear you, and I wasn't sure if the listeners could hear you.
No. So yeah. Yeah. So that began the journey of my me being around my daughter, and unfortunately, I wasn't there when she was born. I wasn't. She was already with another guy who was somebody else that wasn't in question of being the mom.
Bro,
So she was with another guy, and she got him to sign the birth certificate. So my oldest daughter has another man's last name. Um,
that's tough,
but
dude. That's always tough.
yeah, yeah. So anyways, you know, um, we we were fine. Everything was fine. I was able to see my daughter. I was providing. I was bringing. I was giving money, milk, diapers, whatever was needed. I was there, and I was visiting as much as I could every weekend. And then on one day, I get word that the man she's with is jealous. So I confront dude and I'm like, hey, obviously, me being the nice person that I am, I was like, what's the problem? He's like, oh no, there's no problem. There's no problem. I was like, you sure? Because I'm hearing different things. Like, no, 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 everything's good, everything's good. So that gets squashed, and then we go on about our day, and a couple more months down the road, everything's good, and then all of a sudden, here it comes again. I'm hearing it again. He's talking shit. So again, I confront dude, and I'm like, bro.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
And then he's like, no, no. He's like, I don't understand, bro. And he's like, if it was me, and some guy had came along and he was wanting to take care of my child, and I knew my child was gonna be taken care of, I wouldn't have a problem walking away, and letting that guy take take responsibility of my child and blah blah blah. And at that point, I'm just like, I'm frustrated, because of like the girl I was with is this is like these are the men that you left me for. Like this is the quality of man that you wanted.
Definitely not an upgrade, right?
And it's like that aggravates me in a sense. And then the
Of
second
course.
part that aggravated me is these are the type of people that you have around my daughter.
That's the dude that's going to be raising your daughter. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
So I look at the guy and I'm telling him like, bro, I'm not entirely sure who the fuck raised you or how the fuck you were raised. Excuse my language. That's a very
Hmm.
sensitive subject. But that's not how I do it. That's not how I was raised to do it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's my daughter, that's my responsibility, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I was like, and if there's an issue, then we can discuss that, further. And he was like, no, 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 it's all right, it's all right, it's all right. I was like, all right, you sure? He's like, yeah, no, we're good, we're good, we're good. Well, again, a couple weeks go by and it wasn't good, obviously. So what ended up happening was she ended up moving out and moving in with him, and that's when they pretty much cut me out. Um,
And
she ended up
is that
moving in, cut ties with me, like I wasn't able to see her. I was able to basically like whenever she would go and she would drop my daughter off at her grandma's house, which was her mom's house. Um, I would sneak over there and I was able to see her, But then eventually they found out that I was doing that, and he cut that off completely. So he he wouldn't even let my daughter go to her grandma's house.
Jesus Christ, dude?
But again, like I said, I can't be upset with the dude. It's more or less the fact she's the one that allowed it, which is
Right, right. Yeah. So you have another daughter. So let's talk about your middle daughter.
um middle daughter. Sorry.
You
Anyway,
did have three, you
again,
said.
no, I was because like I said, there's more to that one part. Like I said, so what ended up happening
Oh,
was
go ahead.
they got married and stuff like that. So it went years again. Like I said, it was 1 years old last time I seen my daughter. So 5 years later, she's five now. I get a text, hey, so and so, do you want to see your daughter? Yeah, of course I want to see my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was like, okay, we're here and so and so. So they had got married, broke up, and now she's living back at her mom's house. So I go and I'm spending time with my daughter and stuff, and she's got a little brother now, and that's cool. I'm not one of those type of people that kind of like hold things against children because children have no part, So like, anytime I would go over, like if I brought my daughter McDonald's, her little brother gets McDonald's off the bat, you know.
Of
Um.
course.
So long story short, New Year's party, she gets drunk. She starts to confess her love for me, I guess. I tell her no. Like, you know how much shit you've put me through. Like, why would I want you back? Like,
Was that this New Year's? Just a couple of months ago?
no, no, no. This
Oh,
is
okay.
this is like 9, 10 years ago.
Okay.
Like I said, because she's 14 now. Remember, the last time I've actually
Oh, right,
seen my
right.
daughter since she was 5. Um, so she comes out, she's bringing up stuff, basically, oh, how I had slept with one of her friends. Not when we were together. This was years later. She's using it against me. and calling me a piece of shit father and all this other stuff, blah blah blah. And she pretty much gives me the ultimatum that if I didn't want to be with her, then I couldn't, like it was a package deal. She said, and I was like, no, I was like, I'm not gonna be with you. I don't want to be with you. And yeah, that's the last time I saw my daughter. Um, but yeah, moving on. This whole episode is gonna be about me picking the right ones.
Dude,
Um,
that's what some people's lives are all about. Is I mean, how many times do you hear it? I can never find the right man. I can never find the right woman. Like that's all
yeah,
people are preoccupied with. I mean, there's good lessons to learning it, man.
yeah, no, no. Just for the record, like I'm really big on. I've never been, like I said, I'm real big on marriage. You know, and I've never wanted, I never expected my life to be this way. You know, to have multiple children by multiple women, and and then not be married or some sort of family, structure. This is definitely a turn of events that I didn't want. But it is what it
But
is.
you've
You know what I'm
learned how to
saying?
make the best of it, right? Like you
Yeah, I
still
mean,
plugging along. You still being the best Jacob you can be.
I mean, you have to. Like again, like I said, the children have they're not their fault. Like I said, why should they suffer a life of nothingness, of just emptiness, of no love? Because of my own personal burdens.
Well, I think that's commendable as hell, dude. Like 100%.
I mean, I could never be the parent to pass my burdens. Like, you imagine you leave, that's what you leave your children, like when you die, is just burdens and death and, stuff like that. I can't do that. I couldn't do what was done to me.
Oh, I agree, man. 100%.
Um, Second child. Okay.
Yeah, I was talk
Fast,
about your second
fast
child.
forward. Fast forward. Another emo chick.
Was it really?
Yeah.
She loved your mascara, or what'd you call it?
Guy liner. No,
Guy liner.
I had grew out of the emo phase by this point. Um,
Obviously not. If you're still
uh,
grabbing the goth chicks, dude.
oh, sorry.
Oh shit! Smack the camera, lady.
Oh my god, that one there was for Pop and Lock.
All right, we got our bada bing in for pop. There you go. Thanks, man.
Uh, no. So with this happened. I was young. I was still young. Obviously, I was just now getting money, like real money. You know,
Good job making your way in the world.
yeah. I mean good money. I mean like blowing 10,000 a week money.
What the fuck? What were you doing for that kind of money, dude?
uh,
Come see the
living.
famous one-armed stripper. Like, get down.
Yeah, yeah. So drinking, man, that was every day. It was an everyday thing. Man, I was drinking, I was smoking, uh, you know, just living life. I mean, going to clubs, buying shoes and jewelry, just the dumbest shit you could do, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to say it's dumb because
We all
everybody
do
should
it, dude.
experience, that part. I would never say, as much as I say it's irresponsible, I would never want to deprive anybody of that experience because it is something, you should deserve to do. Just go out without a care in the world and blow everything. Fuck it.
Bro, if I had $1 for every dollar I wasted, I wouldn't be doing this, you know?
Let's see how many DMs you get after this show.
Yeah, no shit, man. Opening it up for Jacob.
What? This is not a
Money
dating show.
hungry. Money
Well, it might
hungry.
be. Maybe behind the pint's going to be the
You don't
love
want none of
connection.
those
Spicy
women who
soon.
are just messaging
Oh
him
no,
for
don't
that.
message me if you're looking for money because it is not the same that it used to be.
He
It's
broke.
still okay. Like I said, I'm not broke, but I'm okay.
He's got
But
3 kids, bro, Cha-Chas. He can't afford
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. So, um, um,
So still young, still out there partying, doing your
yeah,
thing.
yeah. And then I meet her, and she's living in Oklahoma. So I fly her. I pay for her to come down here. To come be with me. That's what she wants. That's what I want. So that's what it is. And we're out doing our thing, what I'm saying? Smoking hella tobacco. Tobacco. I
Yeah,
don't know
don't
what's it.
lie, dude. Well, I know you were playing the bongos, bro.
Yeah, playing the Broncos bad hard, and drinking and all that sort of stuff, hanging out with friends, shopping, blowing money. Um, Um, not really thinking about anything. Not really thinking about life. Just living. And then here comes that. Hey, I'm late. I'm like, late what? Like the rent? You don't pay rent. I pay it.
The dreaded "I'm late" comment, dude. I
Yeah,
think every man out there has heard that and felt his heart sink into his asshole. Every man.
the conversation. Yeah, you know, everybody gets that. You're like, oh man, like what do I do? What do I do? Like, this is the first time that now. Granted, this is the first time that I've ever experienced any of this. The announcing of the pregnancy, the being there, and then being in that moment, and I'm nervous. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Um,
Actually getting ready to be a daddy.
Yeah, so I'm definitely so many things are going through my mind. And I hate to admit it as a person, but I'm thinking, plan B. I'm thinking, what do we do? Do we give it
He's
up?
thinking, do I
We
pack the
raise it.
car and just get the
Yeah,
fuck out of here?
no, well, not that, but just the options. You're like, I mean, again, you're thinking of living on the high rise of your life. Where you're everything every day is a fun day, and ultimately, obviously we decide we're going to keep, my daughter, and that's the best
Mhm.
decision I could have made. Again, I said that I'm proud of to say that I thought about those things, especially looking at my daughter now, and loving her for who she is. I'm not proud to say that, but it is one of the honest truths, that I have to come to terms with. It is one of those things that you think about in that moment,
And
because
you've watched her grow into like she's doing okay. She's turned into a fine woman.
oh yeah, dude. Like I said, you'll never understand the words that your parents told you about how time flies until you have a child. Once you have a child, bro, you'll understand everything. You'll look one day and remember, how you carried them in your arms, and the next day their head is like at your chest when you hug them. It's like
Gotcha. Yeah,
so
100%. So how old is
so
she now?
so. Uh, she's 10.
She's 10. Right on.
Yeah.
And you see her a lot. You guys get to hang out and be like
Well,
daddy and
I have
daughter.
I have full custody of my 10-year-old.
Right on.
Fought for that, won that, so that's awesome. I did it for a while up until she was like 5. I did it, the whole co-parenting thing. Um, I used to drive actually. Like when we split up, her mom went back to Oklahoma, so I would drive to Oklahoma to pick her up and then drive all the way back, and I would do this every 6 months. And
It's a lot, dude.
until
That takes a lot
yeah,
out of a dad too.
yeah, so yeah, I definitely drove my fair share of miles, man. It's across the country. And it was like at the very top of Oklahoma, like very up the like almost at the borderline. So I'm like, it wasn't like in the middle, it wasn't on the edge, it was like the top.
Just going all the way out.
Yeah, it was up there.
Almost another
Uh,
state. No, I dig it.
yeah, yeah. So from Georgia to Oklahoma, that was like, and I hate driving. I'm one of those people that fall asleep, driving. Not not in a
Do you
hazardous way.
really?
Not in a hazardous way. It
You get
makes
the
me
heavy
tired though.
eyelids. Yeah.
Well, I think I want to say it's a mixture of two things. It's a mixture of maybe like ADHD, like where it's repetition bores me. So seeing just trees and trees and trees and trees and trees, and then just seeing nothing but dirt and dirt and dirt and dirt, and it doesn't stimulate my brain.
Okay,
And
I get
and then
that. Okay.
and then the other one is growing up and your parents being like, go to bed, and when we get there, you'll be awake. Like,
Yeah. Go to sleep, take
it,
a nap, stop talking back there.
yeah. Anytime we went somewhere, whether it was like Wild Adventures, Disney or whatever. Um, well, we didn't ever go to Disney as a child, but when we would go to, well, we did go to Disney one time. My dad did say we're gonna go to Disney World. We all woke up and we're all driving, and we're looking at, and all of a sudden we get to like the Disney gates and stuff, and we're like, oh my god, we're all fucking freaking out here, and he busts a U-turn at the gates.
No. Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
And drove you out of there?
It drove us away. Yeah.
Did you actually not get to go?
No, we didn't go. Like, we just...
Whoa. Okay, so you have to give it to the dude. That's baller status right there, dude. That's funny shit.
Yeah, dude.
It's sad,
Yeah.
but it's fucking funny, dude. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, so where
So,
to the wise out there, if you guys are listening, don't do that to your kids. That's just the meanest shit you can do.
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. They're definitely a different sense of humor. My dad was the type of person that would drive through McDonald's, just to not have to stop at the light, and we'd get excited, McDonald's.
And just to not, he'd just go through the parking lot and go out the other
Yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's devilish, dude. That's that's actually pretty good. And the kids get all excited. Yay, we're gonna get a McDonald's. No.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. He's like I said, you stop expecting like at an early age living like that. And just kind of like, it is what it is. That's the way of the world. It is or it isn't.
Still, that's too funny. You ever do that with your kids just to be a dick?
You gotta I say, no good parent, is complete without a sprinkle of little trauma on your children.
Isn't that our job, dude? Is to make sure that the therapists of the world stay in business?
No, I think more or less it's the way I view it, and it depends on what kind of trauma you're talking about. Some things aren't okay. I'm not real big on like arguing and fighting in front of the kids. I mean, obviously there's times where your temper just flares up, but I'm not. It's not something that you're proud of. That's something you want to do. But more or
Yeah,
less
but we're
like
still human.
I definitely push my daughter to do things like riding a bike, even though she's afraid of it. I push her, and it's not I push her really hard to overcome these fears because I want to embed that into her head that everything in the world is going to be scary, no matter what it is you want to do. There's always going to be, complications. There's always going to be, you know, that threat of being hurt or something in whatever you do, but that shouldn't stop you. Fear should never be a point in your life that stops you from doing something.
And you're a prime example to point out how you've overcome just fear of regular life living with a disability.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm not too keen and proud on saying, oh, I've overcome a lot of things because it's not something that I would wish or want that on anybody else. The way that I overcame it. It's not a
So would you say
healthy
instead
way.
of instead of saying overcome, you've learned to deal with it? Like you've made it a part of your life and you've just kind of ran with it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I've known you for how
I
many
just
years
I just
before I knew you were missing?
I
It
did a
wasn't
lot of
it wasn't a
things,
part of it.
yeah, I did a lot of things out of pride, out of not, there was like I said again, growing up in that favorite catchphrase being, figure it out yourself. Nobody can really help you, just figure it out. That like I said, it grows a lot of resentment because you feel like nobody's there for you. You do all if you're doing everything on your own, then what do you need people for?
It's kind of a good point. Is that why
Um
you gravitate towards like PC gaming and role playing? It's kind of
uh
like something you can do by yourself and include the people that you want to when you want to.
honestly probably so. It's very it's kind of like pick and choosy, you get to pick who you want to interact with. you know um but I do appreciate the RP aspect of what I do or what I've done because it allowed me to interact with people that I normally wouldn't have interacted with or wouldn't have gave a chance to and find out that those people are really good people, interesting people.
And you make some good friends. Here we are.
Yeah, yeah, no, most definitely. um so like growing up with that, I think, like I said, it definitely made me lack compassion for a lot of people like now, and that's one of the things I'm working on now is having that compassion and finding that with how do you say that place I can actually feel something for people, and like whenever they go through terrible things. I was very one of those. I was much so one of those people that when somebody, like, if somebody's parent was to die, I can't sit there and honestly say, "Oh, I'm sorry," because I wouldn't actually be sorry. Like, in my mind, I couldn't process that. I couldn't say, "Oh, I feel bad," because I don't, because there's no attachment for me there for you losing your parent.
So how have you taught yourself empathy then over the years, like to bring you up to where you are now? Because I think you're a sweet dude. I think you got a heart of gold, bro.
Putting my You can honestly say it's a form of improv, putting myself in that position and thinking about how I would feel. And that's kind of like, but that's the closest that I can come to actually feeling some type of remorse or being genuine about what I say. Because if I'm not genuine, I'm one of those people, I don't really say a lot of things if I don't feel it.
I do know that about you to be true. 100%. So you're a single dad. You got 3 kids. You're living your life. You doing some RP. You got any plans for the future? You got any outlooks on the horizon?
I travel more. I'm definitely this year I'll be getting my daughter hopefully both my I got a 1 year old too. So shout out to Shadow or local vampire. You see her in the chat. That's my 1 year old's mother.
Oh,
Um,
awesome. Awesome. Hi.
so yeah, so great person, great mother. Definitely one of the the if not the best mother of my children that I have.
Is she gothy too?
Yeah.
You just can't break the cycle, bro.
Oh, there's something wrong with me. It's a sickness. I need help.
Hey man, we all
We
the
need
heart ones with the
intervention.
heart ones. We need a gothic intervention.
Yeah, somebody hit me
We'll
with the
start it
Green
by
Day
saying,
Bible.
"Welcome, creatures of the light."
Yeah,
Well,
so
listen, man. We're getting down to the end of it here. I really do appreciate you sharing these stories with us. It's not always easy to talk about these parts of our lives, but one thing I can say is that as long as I've known you, you've always seemed like a pretty decent, well-adjusted dude. Like you've really come through it with a smile and a hope. So that's always something, dude. And I'm happy to call you my friend.
no man, definitely. Like I said, we'll continue this off with part two,
Yeah, we're gonna
for
keep
you
going.
guys.
Well, we're gonna have more of this stuff. Listen, guys, we're getting down to our hour mark, and this is where we like to cut it. You guys have been listening to Behind the Pint with Spicy. Um, this is Jacob. He's been nice enough to sit down and share his life, the good stuff, the bad stuff, some of the funny shit. He's into goth chicks, so if there's any gothies out there, hit him up. He's ready. Make sure you wear that mascara stuff. What do you call it? I forgot already.
Highlighter, bro.
Guy liner. Yeah, don't forget to get your guy liner. Jacob, it has been an honor, dude. Thank you for sitting down. Guys, this is the only show that we're gonna do on Twitch. The rest of these shows we're gonna put on YouTube. Just because I'd like to record them and get them cleaned up a little bit. This one we're gonna keep as it is, just raw. But I'd really like to be able to edit a little bit and keep them nice and maybe shorten them up a little bit, take out some of the goofy crap. I don't know. We'll keep it. Anyway, I'm learning all that stuff. But again, thank you for joining us on Behind the Pint. Next time, Jacob will be with us again, and we'll finish this up. So until then, the bar's closed.